Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to 2 Point Hospital. We are in Sweaty Palms, we are having a do-over for this level. You may have already seen me do the first part of this, but I lost the footage that remained of that level, and the fairest thing to do for the completion of this game just seemed like to restart the whole thing, put out a new video, and then put out the 2 and 3 star objectives. So I've kind of had a little bit of experience on this one. Anyway, it's very hot, we've got earthquakes, volcanic activity, we're going to need to lean hard into janitors and get them trained up nicely, and yeah, we just need to put some air conditioning in as well, because very much like the weather in the UK recently, it's absolutely boiling. So we're going to begin immediately by putting down a reception. I'm going to pop it right in the middle here. In the hopes that we can just immediately start off. We're going to see what we've got available for hire in terms of assistance. We've got customer service and stamina training. We're going to bring you in. That's one down. And let's get a GP's office. Now, I'm going to redesign my GP's offices a little bit. We're going to keep them nice and small with a fairly tiny footprint. I can probably squeeze in a toilet down there. Now, I want to make sure... been looking into this, and I want to make sure that my doctors have ease of access to their desks and guests have ease of access to their seats. So we've put in the filing cabinet, which is a usable thing, and also over here we want to make sure that we're getting the weighing machine. So diagnosis power and treatment power, and the medicine cabinet. Medicine cabinet's cheaper, more expensive, sorry, but the weighing machine has the same footprint and is just as good in terms of, you know, that sort of stuff, and they don't actually get used that much. So we are just going to pop these down. I think they have the same footprint as the medicine cabinets do. Like, we can fit in, let's just have a quick look over here and see what we can fit in. 1, 2, 3, and it is, yeah, so we can fit the same amount of each one in. We're just going to get rid of all of these again. I haven't actually bought the room yet, so we don't need to commit to doing that. Now, let's get a hand sanitizer in as part of the usual bump that we put in to decorate these things, and a small aircon unit, which is going to go right in the middle. That should keep the temperature down. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of training now. We're going to go with some diagnostics, bring in a guest trainer, and get both of our student doctors trained up in diagnostics, because they're then going to move on to being GPs or working in some sort of other diagnosis-based kind of situation. We have a decent thermic comfort rating, and we just need to get those 15 patients with premature mummification cured. They won't come in until we get a little bit of a reputation boost, and to do that we're probably going to need to cure a few pharmacy patients. So let's build our first pharmacy. And I do actually have a blueprint, so I'm not... maybe I'll design a new one anyway later, but for now we'll just put our blueprint in. I'm pretty sure this was a 5-star blueprint anyway and is working perfectly fine. We'll only need to put in an aircon unit. I don't think I'm going to fit this big one in, so we'll just get rid of that one and put a small one in. And we just need to fit it somewhere so that our mechanics can access it and fix it when it needs to be fixed. Our training has also just started there. You'll see the guest trainer is in there. And we need to hire a nurse. So let's put some benches down first so that people have got somewhere to sit. And we will get our first hired nurses in place. We've got a good one there with pharmacy management, injection administration, and ward management. So Eugene's probably a good one. But I may also bring in a newbie to train up, which will allow us to really specialise him. So we'll bring Zeke Gutterflake in as well. And that's 2 nurses on the books. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start assigning my staff to specific rooms. So we're going to take our nurses and we're going to drop this one from pharmacy and keep them on ward and injection management, meaning our trainee nurse will only be doing pharmacy stuff. We've already trained him in pharmacy management, so that's good. Just filling it out with as many weighing scales as I possibly can so that we can boost the diagnosis rating of the room, and then our general diagnosis will be really nice and set up. So we've got about a 10% increase in diagnosis rating there, and obviously it looks messy and horrible, but you know, we can deal with that for the sake of being able to grind out this first sort of thing. We don't really need a pretty looking hospital, and I do plan in the future to redevelop everything and redo all of my blueprints so that this isn't a problem in the future, and we've got some nice looking rooms moving into the next few kind of levels that we do. We have a good ward management and diagnosis trained nurse there that we're going to bring in, and we have new illnesses cropping up. So we're in a decent position so far. We just need to put down a few more benches so that there's places for people to sit, recover from that earthquake. Obviously, as we expand the hospital, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to manage when we have volcanic eruptions and earthquakes coming in. So we just need to be aware of that and make sure that we're hiring enough janitors. At the moment, the 2 we have are perfectly well equipped to kind of deal with everything that's going on here. So cryptology is obviously where we're going to cure these patients with premature mummification. The machine's pretty big, but I wanted to make it quite close to the door. Again, we're trying to reduce the foot traffic as patients come into rooms. So by putting those diagnosis or treatment machines close to the door and getting them at a specific angle, you can really reduce the amount of walking animation that goes on, and that allows you to process those patients a lot quicker. Just something that I've learned while I've been playing the game, and I think it's important to kind of keep an eye on those sort of things. Obviously, we want to boost the prestige rating. I'm really sorry if you've got a little bit of OCD, but these pictures are just getting thrown in everywhere. And that's prestige level 5 on cryptology. So we have a cure rate of 60%, thermal comfort rating of 60%, and a decent hospital value. We're going to do a little bit more training now, and it doesn't look like we can do a great deal. We haven't got much available. Maybe we could do some maintenance just to kind of like advance our janitors and get them kind of ready for when things start getting a little bit tough. I think that's probably going to be the best thing for us to do. Right then, we're looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how things are going so far. We do have to adjust our prices though, because I'm concerned, oh god, someone slipped in some sick or vomit, or sick and vomit are the same thing, or or something. We have a backlog here because we're training our receptionist, but that'll get sorted eventually. And I'll maybe hire another janitor to hopefully help us clean up these things over here. Oh, there's another staff member falling in the wee, or Andy's fallen twice. Is he going to do a third? No, but that one's... Come on. There we go. We're getting one cleaned up. And you've fallen again. That nurse has fallen over 3 times in sick and is now just retreating to the staff room in disgrace. No, he's changed his mind. He's going for a drink. At least it's finally being cleaned up. What an absolute nightmare that was. He must be so embarrassed. He slipped in the same puddle twice and then another one. So we have our first epidemic. If you don't know what epidemics are, it's like a mini game. This one is Abominable Curse, so we basically need to look out for patients who don't have premature mummification but display the symptoms of premature mummification, like this man here, Dave Solomon. You give him a cure and the number of infected drops, as do your vaccines. If you run out of vaccines and fail to treat everyone, you fail the minigame, so on and so forth. If you succeed in treating all of the patients, we've got another one there, and oh yeah, that one, that's it. So we get a little reputation boost and a little bit of a cash flow. Someone's cleaning up some sick straight away, which is really good. No more staff slipping over. Fantastic work, everybody, well done. Let's put some benches down. So, our injection room. There's been a little bit of an increased demand for this one, so I think it's probably the best secondary treatment room to build. We're going to fit in our aircon unit and then go around doing our usual thing, making sure we have a fire extinguisher in there because there is a machine here. Could set on fire if we have a volcanic eruption. Coffee maker to keep our staff going, sweet dispenser to keep them stocked up on food, and just keeps them in that room for as long as possible. We're then going to do our usual and fill it out. We can probably fit in a few medicine cabinets actually to increase the treatment power of the room, which is really good. Now, medicine cabinets, they're only available in certain rooms, so it's really good to use them when and wherever you can. It just gives you that little boost, especially in the early game. I know it's expensive, but if you do put them in early doors before you've got all of your staff trained up, it gives you a better chance of getting successful cures when your staff aren't quite well equipped to deal with certain things, especially given that we're so far into the game now and we have a little bit more in terms of advanced illnesses coming in that are a little bit more difficult to treat. Hand sanitizer's gone down as well, and then we just need to have a look at what else we can put in before we finally try to get it to prestige level 5. I'm going to see if I can squeeze in another few medicine cabinets. We can definitely put some along this wall, and that'll give it a nice boost to the treatment power in this room. Obviously, we need to be considerate of our money here. We haven't bought this room yet, and it's already costing 25 grand, but I think we should just be able to cope. Next up, we're going to throw down our Gold Star awards to decorate the space. Okay, end of year awards. What are we going to get this year? Come on. Oh my god, we got no deaths. What a great start. Fantastic. No deaths. Hospital of the Year, Best Teaching Hospital, Rising Star, Employer of the Year. That's almost a full clean house for us there. That's really good, really good. Right, diagnosis decisions, 49%. We'll send them home. We're going to have to start being a little bit picky now because our reputation's obviously increased a fair bit. And we just need to make sure that we're only treating the patients that we know we can treat to keep that cure rate up. And, you know, we can take the reputation hit of having to send a few patients home. These are the guys we need, though. Premature mummification. This is our first one. Hopefully we'll cure them. I'm just going to run around and make sure that our aircon units, putting these incinerator bins in probably isn't the best idea, but we'll just have to deal with that. Obviously, the arcade machines give off a little bit of heat as well, so we're just going to make sure that we're keeping on top of that. Oh, there's a radiator in the pharmacy. That's not a problem anymore. Away you go. The staff promotions, I want to try and not give them too much of a raise. This may become a little bit of an issue with us later on, but if we can start spending less now in the early game in terms of our salary, we can have more doctors, get them trained up, and then we'll give them nice, like, matched salary bonuses and stuff. Just going to train up Zeke again because he now has his treatment and pharmacy. He can come in as no, we're not going to do that. What am I talking about? Let's see what else we can hire. We're going to bring in Alex Filament, a nice trainee with treatment, and they can pop in and start doing some work for us. We're going to do some adjustments to who can work where in terms of our nurses. So we're going to start taking out all of those and just making sure that people who are trained in treatment aren't working in diagnosis rooms and vice versa. So let's have a look at what else we can do here. You've got treatment and stuff, so you can all stay on kind of treatment-based stuff, and that'll do for now. Treatment being the name of the game, so we need to make sure that people are trained in it because the decryptor requires C. Failed a treatment because they probably don't have the required training. Of course, Spencer Transformer, go transform somewhere else. We need good staff here. So we have a little bit of a queue here. Our hospital value's increasing steadily, which is good. We are curing people in cryptology, which is amazing to see. Hopefully we'll succeed in this emergency, but we are running out of time, so hopefully well, I don't think we're going to succeed there now because that machine needs repairing, and our janitor would like to go to the toilet as well, so maybe he'll not finish it. Anyway, let's expand our hospital. We're going to take on this second plot here and start facilitating and moving things around. Just going to go through all of these things, sending people for treatment immediately if we can, just to, you know, take that risk. We might as well. I'll maybe adjust our minimum cure rating at a later date. We're just going to increase this salary here a little bit. There we go, just below the cap of them being upset about their wages. So again, continuing to send patients for treatment. We're failing a few more of these premature mummification patients, and that's an earthquake as well, just to give us a little bit more to deal with. But never mind, it's okay. Hopefully, there we go. We failed the emergency, but we are now 4 for 15 in premature mummification, which is fantastic. What have we won this year? It's year 2. Hopefully, we'll get something good here. Employer of the Year, Rising Star, and Prestigious Hospital. Well, it's not as good as last year, but it's still pretty good. Finances looking good. 7 of 8 now. We're over the halfway mark for our premature mummification cure, and everything else is looking pretty good as well. So, as you can see, just to boost the thermal comfort rating, that's another volcanic eruption coming in. We're going to have a lot to deal with here. I think we need to kind of rejig a few things and move our treatment rooms into the other area that we've opened up here, as well as kind of putting in a few more diagnosis rooms and other things like the some more GP's offices. I'm going to throw down a load of extinguishers here just because these things are one use only, and I want to make sure that I've got enough on hand for when things go wrong. Here come the staff resignation warnings. Now these are mainly due to the salaries being low, so we'll start boosting that to give people a little bit more of a salary. I'm going to put an extra couple of rooms in at some point. We just need to make sure that we are doing everything correctly. I'm going to do a little bit of training edits here. We're going to shift this training room over into the other wing and then start moving other bits and pieces around, like all of our treatment rooms, into that section of the hospital while making adjustments everywhere else. We're going to hire in some more staff. We need a few trainees to kind of build up and start. Oh, you've gone. Oh, there we go. Finally, he was sideways as he spawned in. We're going to hire another assistant as well, just to take some of the pressure off, as we are going to have to start thinking about putting in a few more reception desks to cope with the demand. Looking good though. We have our heart racer. We're going to upgrade that. And what else can we do? We can upgrade the drug mixer. We've not done that yet, and that's normally one of the first things I do. Over here, the Jab Master, we can upgrade that, and the Decryptor we can't. Maybe I could go back to Mitten University and do some more research. Oh, that's somebody dying. That's not great. I'm going to copy the Decryptor because we have a fair queue building up here, and it's a popular one, so hopefully we can hit our objective. Yeah, okay, whatever. Hopefully having 2 of these things running with the correct staff in place, we can get that premature mummification done as soon as possible, and then all we'll need to do is focus on keeping our cure rate above 60%. Lots of ghosts appearing. We're not doing too well on the treatment front at the moment, failing quite a few and killing quite a few. We could do with having our janitors getting in here and doing a lot more cleaning up. That's going to be one of the difficult things as we expand, is making sure that we have enough janitors to cover all areas of the hospital. The other thing is, if there's not actually a room for them to go to, they tend to like prioritize repairing these aircon units a lot less, meaning if we have these issues in other areas of the hospital, it's going to be difficult for us to actually get them in there to sort them out. I may have to manually pick them up. So what have we got? Looking at our staff, we've got Olive Crust, who isn't happy. We're just going to boost her finances a little bit by giving her an increased salary, and hopefully that'll just make her happy and she'll drop this threat to quit. And I'm going to start doing this with all of our kind of staff members, making sure that they are well paid, because we're at that kind of stage now where we're able to give them a little bit of a raise. Let's get Olive Crust trained, because that's what she's asked for as well. We'll train her in emotional intelligence. We'll just bring in a guest trainer. I mean, I don't know why I did emotional intelligence. She's a janitor. She doesn't particularly need it because she doesn't deal with a lot of guests. So that was probably a bad move on my part. Anyway, never mind. Things starting to look pretty good. We've got another promotion, and this time we're just going to promote with a basic staff salary increase. And there we go. Olive has decided to stay. And things are looking pretty good. 11 of 15 on premature mummification, nearly there now. Okay, I think we should increase our prices a little bit. I'm trying to kind of drop my reputation while at the same time making enough money. If we drop the reputation, we'll start getting more manageable cures coming in. And actually, so far, the reputation's pretty good. So we can start churning out a little bit more money from these cures and diagnoses and things like that. That's a pretty good way to go about things. I'm going to make sure that I've got enough kind of entertainment, I guess, we need for people, but also we could do with just increasing the overall look of the hospital. I'm going to put in some wormhole bins instead of the incinerator bins. These things won't give off heat, so we'll start replacing our incinerators and just making sure that we have wormhole bins throughout the hospital instead. They don't need emptied, basically. I think they do need repaired from time to time, but it's going to be better to have them repaired because maintenance or something, whatever. I could be totally wrong about that, but this queue is getting out of hand. We have a staff promotion, we'll put that in. Ward emergency. We're starting to get a little bit of increased demand for a ward, so I'm going to build one now. We'll build this new one, our nice mega ward. This is not my design of a blueprint, it's somebody else's. If I could work out who it was and remember who it was, I would gladly credit them, but I can't remember. Basically, there's a super ward that has the perfect layout for 6 beds with just 2 changing places. We're going to get rid of the radiator and put an aircon unit in instead. Just a small one should be enough to make sure that the room is a manageable temperature. Will a large one fit in? No, it won't. We'll just go with a small. And can I fit one somewhere else? No. Never mind, that's that in place. And hopefully we'll start curing some patients and giving some increased diagnoses in the ward. Everything looking pretty good. I mean, don't just ignore the mess over there and the ectoplasm on the floor. I think it's probably going to be a good idea to make a duplicate of our cardiology department, just to manage the cures and the queues in there a little bit better. So we'll put that in. It's a weird angle because obviously I'd shaped that room specifically, but for now we'll deal with it. Psychiatry, resolution lab, staff challenge, we'll take that on, and then some more demands for extra cure rooms and diagnosis rooms. We're just going to leave them though. Going to hire another staff member. It's good bedside manner and a ward manager. So Bernard Pike, he can go and work predominantly in the ward. and that's looking pretty good. So obviously ward management, they get increased diagnosis and treatment ability in the ward. So it's always good to have someone, rather than just having someone who's trained in diagnosis, have them trained in ward management, because the boost is greater compared to just being good at generally diagnosing and treating people. Always good to specify your staff as much as you can and just get them put in those specific rooms. That's one of the things that I've found. It's a bit of a no-brainer, but it's taken me a while to kind of get a system going, just making sure that I'm satisfying pay requests. Obviously this is going to happen a lot because everyone has pretty low wages here, so you've already seen a few people threatening to quit, but as soon as we sort out their salary, everything's fine. But what I'm going to start doing actually is sending people home who have low health because they're too far gone in the queue and they're probably not going to make it to their treatment unless it's already in progress. If I can do this, I can either send people for treatment or just plain send them home, and that'll kind of free up a little bit of space in the queues and help things kind of streamline a little bit more. Obviously this isn't ideal. I'd prefer to be able to cure people and get them kind of in, get my reputation up and get some money coming in, but if we start sending people home, they're going to see, like, they're going to get frustrated, and I think our reputation does take a little bit of a hit. Again, this will drive everything back down, and hopefully the flow of people traffic moving through the hospital will start to kind of slow a little bit. I don't mind doing it. That's an epidemic coming in. Joggers Ripple. Now, this one's a little bit more difficult to spot, sorry. You're kind of looking for people who are jogging and doing exercise and stuff when they quite clearly shouldn't be. So if we see any people with premature mummification starting to do star jumps or running really fast through the hospital, there's a good chance they've got Joggers Ripple and we need to sort that out. Another earthquake, just to give our janitors a little bit more to deal with, but things are progressing nicely. That cure rate is a little bit low, but that's probably because we've sent people home, and that does actually impact your cure rate. What we do need to be careful of, though, is during this epidemic, some of the people I've sent home could actually have Joggers Ripple. So I need to be very careful who I'm looking to send home right now, and probably watch the people who I'm already sending home. That's another cure of premature mummification. And as you can see, an infected person was detected leaving the hospital. So we have 5 infected, one of them has escaped. You've got Joggers Ripple. See, he'd been cured, but he still had Joggers Ripple, which means we needed to get him before he left. That's another one there, and I think he had it as well. Yeah, he definitely has it. Excellent. Right, 2 more to find. And these ones are a little bit more difficult, especially when we have ghosts and earthquakes to deal with, because people run around like madmen when there's an earthquake. And also, it could well be that we have a staff member. Now, somebody has left again, and we have 1 more infected in the hospital. I don't know if we're going to find them. They may be leaving, or hopefully it's a staff member and I can just wait until I catch them. But this epidemic could go on for a long time. If that staff member then sneezes and infects multiple people, we're in a little bit of trouble, and we do need to be careful of that as well. I'm still not spotting anyone, so I think it could be a staff member. See, we failed one there because they didn't actually have it. I think it's probably someone in this wing, potentially a staff member. So we're not far off now. 1 more person with premature mummification, and then we'll have done it. Obviously, that's relying on our cure rate remaining above that 60% mark. We do have some people here with premature mummification. I'm going to see if I can... no, we can't send you immediately for treatment. I just want to speed this up and get there. I know we can cure them. So I think if we can just get that done, again, another staff resignation warning, but that's fine. Once we hit our 1-star objective, I mean, you look, our cash is looking really good. And even though I think we still have like a high price cap set, our reputation is maintaining a decent level, which is really good. It bodes well for the next phase of development as we move on to the 2- and 3-star objectives. I'm just going to sell that cryptology because it's costing money now, and we don't have a great deal of people coming in with premature mummification, so it's a lot easier. You, sir, need to put some clothes on. That one's always one that catches me off guard, and has been since it kind of first started being introduced into the playthrough. I'm going to send you straight for treatment, Spencer. It's your lucky day. Oh, you're dying, but you are getting treatment, so that's pretty good too. We're just going to wait over here and hope that Spencer gets over here pretty quick and we can get that cure done, and we're relying on our nurse here to get it done quickly. Just don't go on a break, yeah? Yeah, they come. Spencer's in. Getting those bandages removed. Come on. Come on. We're going to watch this. It's going to happen in real time. Bandages coming off. And there we have it. We've done it. 1-star objective complete. And we are ready for the 2- and 3-star objectives, which are cure 100 patients, get a cure rate of 75%, and a hospital value of 2 million. Now, we're already pretty much there on the hospital value. We've just got to get those 100 patients cured. So, obviously, the next episode may be a little bit of a, a speed runny through type thing, because it's going to take us a while to cure those 100 patients. But I'm really happy with how this one's gone. We certainly managed things a lot better. Obviously, we need to make sure that our staff are happy, expand the hospital into new areas, and continue streamlining things with more diagnosis, better treatment options, and training our staff as we go. That's been the key thing for me in this one, and it's been a lot less chaotic as a result of that. And I feel like finally, even though we're on like World 4, I'm getting the hang of things, and hopefully that'll bode well for the rest of this playthrough and all of the DLC that are coming as well. I'm going to be doing all of them. 2 Camus releases soon as well, so that's going to be coming. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.